LeBron James partied even harder than Jay-Z at Diddy's parties. I'm about to make a documentary about him. He once said no party compares to Diddy's. Diddy's parties aren't made for regular people. No phones, no cameras, just NDAs and a room full of bodies. If you've ever been to that house on Star Island in Miami, you'd understand. Now picture LeBron walking in over 6'8", the brightest presence in the room. Before midnight, LeBron had already taken off his shirt and was pouring tequila into people's mouths on the dance floor. And I'm not talking about Savannah. He was surrounded by models from Paris, dancers from Atlanta, and one R&B singer I can't name because she's married now. By 1 a.m., LeBron was standing on the table and the whole crowd was going wild with him. Every woman at that party had their eyes on LeBron. He wasn't relying on money, it was all about presence. When it comes to letting loose, LeBron makes Jay look like a church volunteer. I will send every single one of these parasites to prison and clean this circle up a bit.
But what was LeBron James's opinion about Diddy's party?
Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
But what was the public's reaction when they found out that LeBron James had also attended Diddy's party?
Ron! We know you was at them Diddy parties, nigga! We know you was there! We know you was at them Diddy parties!
50 Cent's latest documentary doesn't open with accusations. It opens with a challenge. A lingering question that has echoed for years. How did so much unfold in plain sight, yet so little was ever truly questioned? By revisiting powerful figures like Diddy and global icons such as LeBron James, the film casts familiar moments in a new light. What once seemed like isolated events are reframed as parts of a deeper, quieter pattern. What went unnoticed wasn't hidden evidence. It was collective hesitation, unchecked familiarity, intentional silence, and the ease of looking the other way. And when history remains unexamined, the real question lingers. What have we chosen to protect? And what has it cost us?
Hey gang, what's up? Ain't no party like a Diddy party. Coming in, shout out to the game, man. Appreciate everybody's flood the comments with ain't no party like a Diddy party. That's a statement that LeBron James wish he would have never made, because now that statement is coming to bite LeBron James in the ass. All right, let's get to this headline real quick, gang. I'm finna show y'all.
No Diddy. Investigators reached out to him and they want a statement from him. Federal investigators want a statement from him. What do you mean ain't no party like a Diddy party?
No Diddy. It's going down. Watch this game. Let's do some headlines. Look. Let me let y'all see this real quick. It's right in your face. All you got to do is look at the forest and stop looking at the trees. All right, LeBron James' Lakers is becoming clearer and leaves more questions than answered. LeBron James, he left the NBA suddenly with no answers. All right, so it's headline news. What's really going on? All right, LeBron James is leaving the Los Angeles Lakers.
Diddy didn't rise solely as a performer or executive. He evolved into a powerful cultural gatekeeper. Over time, he became someone who could influence whose careers advanced and who remained on the margins. His reach extended through high-profile events, strategic partnerships, and tightly curated circles where proximity meant opportunity. In those spaces, access wasn't just a privilege, it became a subtle form of influence, where being inside the circle often determined who had a voice and who didn't.
Okay, and this is all in 2024, gang. Look at the dates. You can go and verify this yourself. You can go to Google and Google these same titles. All I did was screenshot them for you all's pleasure. To the game, man. Let me see. Okay, so LeBron, because a lot of people say, is this clickbait? Is this clickbait? Whenever you come on the paper party, Gene, we got paperwork. We got receipts. You will never get clickbait on this channel. All right? Let's keep it moving, guys. All right, more headline news. LeBron James reveals why he stepped away from the Lakers. Whenever you step away from the Lakers, you are leaving the NBA. All right, that's in the title. He's leaving the NBA, so he's definitely stepping away from the Lakers. More headline news. LeBron James just left.
In environments like these, relationships often outweigh contracts, and proximity can function as a shield. The issue isn't about one individual. It's about the structure itself. When advancement hinges on access, silence can become the unspoken cost of entry, and compliance gradually takes the place of accountability. The deeper question isn't simply who benefited from the system, but whether a culture built on controlled access and selective opportunity can ever genuinely hold itself accountable.
I'm with Puff, and he's in exotic bookstores and he's doing shopping, right? He's shopping, getting his stuff and everything like that. So, you know, this is the first time I was ever in an exotic bookstore with Puff. So, you know, I'm giving him his space. He's taking things off the shelves and stuff like that, because they gave him a brown paper bag. When they gave him a brown paper bag, he was just putting stuff in there. So I said, damn, you know, he got to go put it on the counter and, you know, show everybody what he's getting. So as he going, I'm just looking at the places where he picking stuff from. So there's one part he picked up some things from up here on my left side. And then he picked like quite a few of them down. I was like, okay. He put them in the bag. So when I went by there and I looked up there and it said butt plugs. And I was like, hey, yo, I was messing with him. Because people don't understand, you know, we was like friends. He was a part of the same gang. So I'm still gonna tease him. I'm still gonna mess with him and everything like that. I could do that. It wasn't just no security thing. So I say, yo, what are you getting this for? And it said butt plugs, and he was like, yo, can I do my shopping by myself? I said, yeah, you could do it by yourself, brother. And he started walking and everything like that. And when he got to, I just waited at the counter. So when he got to the counter, he didn't even have to show the guy nothing. He just gave the guy a wad of money. I mean, like he gave the guy a stack, something like this. And Puff wasn't the dude that carried no 20s and no 50s and nothing like that. And I mean, like, he just said, boom. And we walked out the store. So we had to leave Atlanta and go to North Carolina for a show. You understand? And it was him, this rapper, Sarah, and this other girl. We all got on it.
LeBron James represents more than elite athletic excellence. He operates at the crossroads of sports, business, and cultural leadership. His public image, rooted in discipline, accountability, and measured speech, has been intentionally built, giving his associations a significance that can rival his own statements. When someone of his stature consistently appears within the same rarefied circles, those connections naturally take on symbolic meaning, regardless of intent. This isn't about accusation. It's about the gravity of reputation, where influence alone can invite scrutiny. And when leadership is defined by values, a quiet but unavoidable question emerges. At what point does restraint itself begin to shape the narrative?
Let's see. Not only is he leaving, gang, LeBron sold his mansion for $39 million. All right. Now, he leaving social media. He leaving the NBA. Now, he just sold his 39. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something, too. A lot of people may not know this, but LeBron James bulldozed it in order to get another one. So he is getting another mansion, but he sold his mansion. Remember, I have a bachelor's degree in real estate. Right? Whenever you start settling out of real estate, whenever you start leaving your obligations like playing for the NBA, and whenever you leave social media, reason. And I think I know why.
Party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
So you know,
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party.
yo,
right,
how
so-
authentic was that thing on social media when they had LeBron in the maid outfit? How authentic was that? Did you see that?
Archived moments have a way of resurfacing when least expected. Not because the footage itself has changed, but because our perspective has. Comments once dismissed as playful, casual, or complimentary can return years later as markers within a wider reassessment of influence, proximity, and the environments that shape them. As context evolves and understanding deepens, those same moments can take on new meaning, not through alteration, but through clarity. Sometimes it isn't the past that shifts, but the lens through which we finally choose to examine it.
A lot of people saying it's Photoshop, but I seen different pictures, bro. I done seen like 7 different pictures of him that's made suit. So that particular picture can't be Photoshop if it's 7 different pictures of him in that particular made suit, unless all 7 of those pictures at different angles is Photoshop. So I don't think it's A lot of people say it is Photoshop. Shout out to Miss Cat Dog.
Just 50 Cent's name being attached to it again. These are two, as everyone knows, the three names in hip hop are Jay-Z, Diddy, 50 Cent when it comes to the status of where you could get as a business or a brand.
I guess so.
So for the top three individuals, for one to go at the other and release this doc, I don't know, what does that say to again, I keep asking about the hip hop state of things. What does that say to hip hop? Like,
yeah, man, but you know when guys come on here, man, and they want to come and try to ruin your show and say that shit to some is clickbait, the more and more we try to teach them, the dumber they make us look, bro.
But you know what? That make them look dumb because watch this. I got 3 college degrees, bro. You know what I'm talking about? I own a lot of look, bro, my thing is this, bro. I don't have to be doing this shit, just like you don't have to be. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of people depend on this information, and a lot of people love hearing what Paperwork Party and Gene gotta say. So for the thousands of people that like hearing we gotta say, that's cool. For the 20 people, they need to get the fuck up out of here because it ain't no clickbait over here.
Right, it's all good, man. You know what I'm saying? But let's just concentrate on the people who
are we our own downfall? I guess I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It all depends on what you consider hip hop. Like, I don't consider any of this debauchery, any of this animalistic crap. I don't consider any of this hip hop. I grew up in hip hop. You know, I know what hip hop culture.
The documentary doesn't suggest that words alone amount to proof. Instead, it draws attention to how recorded moments can reveal the level of comfort people felt within spaces that would later face scrutiny. Its lens isn't legal, it's cultural. It explores how language can quietly signal belonging and alignment long before anyone thinks to question it. And when perspective shifts and the past is revisited, a more complicated question emerges. Who ultimately defines the meaning of what was once said, especially when context no longer offers protection?
Rumor that he's been asked to come in, you know, and investigators reached out to him and they want a statement from him. Federal investigators want a statement from him. What do you mean ain't no party like a Diddy party?
And bro, I'll be sick too. If I'm at a Lakers game and it's feds all in the front row looking at you, talking about, yeah, we gonna get a statement, nigga, I wouldn't go to the games either. I miss the games too, nigga. Yeah, you talking about, nigga, you think the feds ain't going to LeBron games and saying, nigga, ain't no party like a Diddy party, we know what's going on? Come on, bro.
and we don't even know who they said. And then there's certain women's out here that state, I don't know how authentic their statements are, but they're saying that there's tapes with them with A-list celebrities having sex with.
Yes.
LeBron is an A-list celebrity, allegedly. But no, LeBron is an A-list celebrity.
Start off with Diddy basically recording him coming back to New York, recording himself, hiring a camera crew to technically turn himself in. You know, 5 days before he turned in, he came back to New York, you know, based on his lawyer's 6 days. Apologies. Based on his lawyer's recommendation, saying that, you know, of course, you know, he's cooperating. But for him to be recording this,
yeah, Mark Agnew Factful, I'm calling him.
Yeah. Do you think his lawyers suggest? I mean, do you think that's just Diddy hubris, or like what was that as far as him just saying, "I'm gonna record this whole process"?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know who we should ask? We should ask Mr. Busby. Is LeBron James next on the list to be indicted? That's what we should do. We should call Mr. Huh?
You got Busby number?
Yeah, I got Busby's cell number right here. We should call Busby and be like, hey, is LeBron, matter of fact, let me put the question up. The question for the day, gang, ain't nobody trying to be funny. Will LeBron James be indicted with Diddy? That's the question for the day. Diddy done already been indicted. LeBron James say it ain't no party like a Diddy party. Busby say it's a lot of people on the list that he ain't.
When official clarity begins to waver, informal narratives rush in. The absence of a firm, authoritative account creates a vacuum where speculation doesn't merely appear, it expands, not necessarily because it's accurate, but because it fills the silence. The documentary examines how extended quiet allowed conjecture to stand in for transparency, slowly blurring the boundary between suspicion and assumption. Over time, the lack of clear answers reshapes public perception, where uncertainty hardens into belief. The result isn't just confusion, it's shared frustration. Silence can feel like exclusion, and rumor becomes a way for people to engage when direct information is unavailable, and the tension remains unresolved. Is speculation a distortion of truth, or an inevitable response when truth feels out of reach?
That's hard to think. But then if you got the A-listers, you know, you got to realize he ran with that Rat Pack. And I don't even say their names because they said I got their names wrong last time. What's his name? Kushner? What's the other guy? Leonardo? Yeah, his name. Man, I don't keep up with these cats. But I heard that that's not only the tape that's being shopped. There's some other tapes out there, other people too with him. And him doing some things with some other people. So there's quite a few tapes that might be out there, what they're hearing. And I don't want to see the tapes, but I want to know if they really true. Because if they got if they got some tapes out there and it's with some underage, whether it's celebrities or not, it's gonna be crazy, bro. It's gonna be real crazy. And they're gonna have to bring that to forefront because the prosecutor's gonna want those tapes. And they're gonna do whatever they have to do legally to get those tapes. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. So we just better hope for his sake, that's just a bunch of bull crap. But then there's lawyers out there saying, yeah, the tape does exist. Lawyers got on television to say the tapes exist. I don't really know or trust that, because they was trying to say he had a tape with one of the bodyguards and this lady that came out. So we don't.
Power in entertainment rarely operates in isolation. It flows across music, sports, fashion, and media through closely connected networks of influence. When prominent figures from different spheres gather in the same social spaces, their combined presence can create a subtle layer of insulation from scrutiny, not through deliberate coordination, but through familiarity and shared stature. The documentary presents this dynamic not as secret plotting, but as convergence, an elite ecosystem that informally regulates itself through access, proximity, and mutual recognition. In such environments, overlap can function as its own kind of armor. The outcome isn't necessarily a coordinated defense, it's systemic protection, where influence reinforces influence, and when power becomes widely interconnected, an unsettling question surfaces. Does accountability naturally erode when it is diffused across too many hands?
Cassie doing, that's his doing, and his learned behavior from the people that mentored him. You gotta realize, man, he learned from Andre Harrell. He learned from Russell Simmons. He learned from Clyde Davis. You understand? When those people are telling you that they were heavy into the drugs, they was heavy into beating women and doing things at that age, at that crazy stage, that's gonna make him think that he could get away with the same thing that they was getting away with back then. You understand? The things that he was saying, you know, the touchy-feely between two men and all that stuff like that, man. All that, he learned that from them dudes. When I told y'all the story, when me and my man went up to Russell Simmons and he had a house and he had a man in bikini drawers in his bedroom, in his bed. You understand? Bruh, this is that he learned. I'm assuming he learned it from them. Let me put that. And I'm not gonna say alleged because I saw that for my own self. My man was with me, Slick was with me, and we saw that for our own self. You understand what I'm saying? So these are behaviors and things that with drugs and all the stuff that's going on, pills, drinking, it can make this man into a monster, and that's what it did, bruh. It made him into a monster, bruh. I personally feel like he got a lot of the things that he did from his mentor, and then he probably did it to the 10th power. You understand? Russell Simmons admitted that he was a drug abuser. You understand? Russell Simmons admitted that he used to put his hands on women. So it's a learned behavior, bruh. Some of that stuff may be in him through his childhood. Through his childhood, he may have some of that things in him, but a lot of things that he was doing was a learned behavior, bro. You just don't just turn it in a matter of years the way he was doing people, man. You understand? Check this.
The idea that private moments might have been widely recorded raises more than just surprise. It raises questions of control. History demonstrates that those who possess records often wield influence, whether they ever act on it or not. Even the mere perception that such material exists can shape behavior, imposing restraint through uncertainty alone. This dynamic reshapes power. The potential for exposure becomes leverage, and staying silent can feel safer than speaking out. The consequences run deep, touching on ethical and legal considerations around autonomy, coercion, and unspoken fear. And when authority is reinforced by what might be revealed, a pressing question emerges. Is silence truly a choice, or has it been subtly imposed?
My whole thing about it is that there was something in that other than baby oil. That's why they took all the bottles. And 9 times out of 10, if I would give it a wild guess, it was, and like some of the people told me, it was probably that GHB.
What's that?
I think it's gamma hydrox. I looked it up, bro. Let me see if I can find it. I know this is just showing everything like that, but oh no. Let me. Yo, somebody tap dance or sing or do something, you know what I'm saying, while I'm doing this. Oh, here it go right here. It's gamma hydroxy butyric. What is its effect on the body? It's a euphoria, drowsiness, decreased anxiety, and memory impairment. It works on the nervous system and gives you this feeling of euphoria. So they take that and rubbed it on her, and you forget who you are, what you're doing. It can also give you memory loss, drowsiness, and that's under the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration.gov.
Public personas are crafted with meticulous care through consistent messaging, deliberate signals, and careful distancing from controversy. Yet when a leading figure within a powerful network begins to stumble, those around them confront a critical choice: speak up, step aside, or remain silent. The documentary illustrates how restraint is often framed as wisdom or maturity, even as it quietly shapes how the public fills in the gaps. What is lost in that pause is control over the narrative itself, because silence effectively hands interpretation to others. And when reputations are so carefully constructed, the moment context turns unforgiving. A sharp question arises. How resilient were they ever truly?
Suspicious about missing all these games, acting like he's sick, this and that, selling his houses and shit.
But better yet, will LeBron James be added to the lawsuit, the civil lawsuit? Will it be added to the civil lawsuit? More so than being indicted?
Or the list, the witness list. Is they trying to get LeBron to testify against Diddy because of the it ain't no party like a Diddy party, he's been to all of them. You see what I'm saying? He may be a witness. Who knows? They may already flipped him. They may have already flipped him. You call Busby? Somebody said 1-800-Busby. That's not his cell number. Shout out to Donahue. His cell number not 1-800-Busby.
You know these thirsty people out there talking about yes.
Come on, 1-800-Busby. Uh-oh, somebody said prophet. Shout out to Mystery Singer. I like that. That's a real educated word. I like prophet. I don't know if he got a profit agreement. We ain't found no paperwork of him having a profit agreement, but keep that in mind, Mystery.
Yeah, the U.S. attorneys have to do that. Give him a profit agreement.
Yeah, keep that in mind because he damn sure selling property. I know he don't need no money. You only sell shit when you need money.
Mm-hmm.
He sold. Look, I didn't show you this one right here. He sold the one in Miami too for $18.5 million, bro. He done sold 2 cribs in 2 years. He sold the one in Miami for $18.5 million, and he sold the one in California for $39 million, bro. And he's sick. He's missing out.
The documentary ultimately makes clear that what stayed hidden for so long wasn't a single event or person, but a system upheld by comfort, access, and shared discretion. The transition from whispers to recorded history doesn't occur through sudden exposure. It unfolds through persistent examination and a collective insistence that unanswered questions cannot be ignored.
You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes you would hear a boom, 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 a thump or whatever the situation is and stuff like that. Yo, what's up? Everything good? And sometimes they would open the door. I'm right there by the door. Sometimes you see things you don't want to see.
Hey, did they ever try to get you involved? Or
not at all.
Offer you?
Not at all. Puff did it one time, but that's in my book. When he was coming from Dallas, he had the snow bunnies. And I reneged on that. Nah, I'm good.
Hey, did you see any celebrities Puffy did any of that stuff with, the swinger stuff with?
Yeah, I did.
Tell me about that.
I think I told you about that. One time, him and somebody, him, Sarah, and this young girl flew from Atlanta. And they, and flying from Atlanta, we had this artist with us, right? And we were staying in the presidential suite at the hotel. And this particular artist and Puff, they told me, don't let nobody come in the room. So I said, all right, cool. So I propped my chair by the room door while they went in. So this artist's cousin knocked on the door. So I went to him and I let him in because I knew him, I see his face and everything. I seen his face several times before. He said, yo, I gotta speak to my cousin. And I said to him, I said, well, they busy right now, man, and they told me don't let nobody come in the room. He said, yo, I'm going in the room to get my cousin out. And I said, bruh, you ain't going in the room, get your cousin out. They told me nobody could go in the room. So he said, I don't care who you are, what you doing like that. I'm going to get my cousin. He went to go and try to open the room. I grabbed his ass, joked him up, and slammed him on the piano. And then next thing you know, Puff and this artist run out the room naked. And so then I said, I see the artist trying to grab a towel. Puff didn't give a shit. And the artist like, yo, what's wrong? What's going on? What's going on? He like, yo, G, that's my cousin. And I was like, yo, my man, he was trying to get in the room and y'all told me don't let nobody else come in, let nobody come in this room. Jesus Christ gonna have to come take the, Puff no, Jesus gonna have to take the air out my body if anybody coming in that room. And Puff just looked at the artist and the artist said, you ain't wanna come up in there?
The tension is intentionally left unresolved because accountability at the highest levels rarely arrives neatly or on schedule. In environments where understanding is shared but rarely voiced, responsibility becomes diffuse, and inaction can feel justified. When awareness exists without acknowledgement, the weight doesn't disappear. It lingers, waiting for someone courageous enough to confront it directly.